welcome to the September 23 webinar of GrantForward for researchers. I'm now sharing screen. I hope you can see my screen and the audio is okay. We will get started. This is our webinar for researchers, for faculty members, most of you, for how to use GrantForward to find the funding opportunities. As a researcher, as a faculty member, you are busy with a lot of teaching, with your research. How do you keep your grant awareness so you learn about funding opportunities? And when you have your idea, your desire for your next project may be about education, maybe about research, maybe about community outreach. GrantForward as a grant database for a higher education institute like yours should have something for you to support your next initiative to help move your next project forward. This webinar is for researchers, faculty members, but GrantForward is also useful for many other members of your institution. Students can find a scholarship, internship, and the institution can use it to find the capital grant for resource for instrumentation. And you as faculty members can find all kinds of grants to support your education and research effort. I will focus on here how GrantForward is relevant, is useful, has something to offer in your pre-award process. This means your pursuit before money is eventually wired into your account or the account of the institution. I will walk through quickly the whole website of GrantForward, how each capability is relevant to your pre-award pursuit. I will then show you 3 use cases that we learned from many of our faculty users that are most useful in their pursuit of funding opportunities. I will show you how you can receive recommendation without you having to take the time and the trouble to visit GrantForward. You will keep your grant awareness by receiving monthly or weekly grant recommendation so that you know about what topics around your research interest are being sought after. Okay, we will then talk about when you actually have an idea for your next project, what funding opportunities are specifically relevant. You will come to GrantForward, you will use keyword, you will use filter to search for grants. You will create your short list of grants. You will receive alerts when relevant grants come up. And you will be able to save, to bookmark, and to share the list of grants you have curated, that you have found. Finally, if time allows, I will show you how you can use GrantForward to learn about the useful information in defining the strategy of your grant seeking, such as what topics are fundable, what award programs are most promising, okay, what my peer researchers or my peer research institute, how are they getting funded? What kind of grant programs? We will talk about all these. Yeah, so let me get started. And if you have any question, you can use the chat text. Myself and my colleague are monitoring the chat to answer your question. I will also incorporate into the presentation if it's the right time. Okay, good. So let me now walk through GrantForward with you. So you should have an account already at the GrantForward because you are receiving our newsletter. That's how you sign up this webinar. If not, then you could sign up anytime with your institution email address. Let me quickly show you how to do that. You will come to grantforward.com. Okay. At the website, the homepage here, you will see the sign up button. You can click on it. You simply enter your institution email address, such as, let me use my name at illinois.edu. This is where GrantForward was originally developed in this state university. So you enter the institution email address, you enter your name, you enter the password twice. The name of the institution will be displayed, so you know you come to the right place. In addition, we have set up the department, the academic unit of your institution. You can tell GrantForward you are affiliated, for example, with Department of Biology. This is useful when your grant administrators from your grant office, when they want to disseminate, communicate some grant information, they can target your department. It's about biology, it's about medicine. They can identify your department affiliation, they can communicate grant with you. You will tell GrantForward that you are a student or researchers. Most of you are researchers, but GrantForward is also used. About 25% of our users are from grant office for student services, fellowship kind of grants. Yeah, but you indicate your type, then GrantForward will tailor the default grant type to something match your status. You click on create my account, then your account will be created. You will receive an email validation, then you can log in. So now I have logged in here. You will see your name appear in the this upper right corner. You will show your institution. You will show your permission type. You should see member. I'm showing administrator here. This is for grant officers. But the only difference is here, this administrator console. This is for administration. It allows to manage the service as well as communicate grant funding opportunities, information, or publish newsletter, adding internal grants. We will not talk about this because our target audience here today, we are all researchers. We are all member of institution. You will see member here, but every other tab is useful at some part in some stage of your pre-award effort. Let me explain them one by one quickly before we zoom into our use cases. Number one, grant. Of course, you come to GrantForward because you are looking for funding opportunity. So under this tab, you will be able to search grants. You will be filling in keywords. You will be perusing. You will be checking the results that match your purpose. You will be using filters to specify additional criteria. You want to create a short list through your finding grant, your search of grants for different purposes, such as a grant for mentoring for junior faculty, a grant list for my collaborator, Professor Smith. You can create a short list of grants to prioritize, to organize your funding effort. Awards. We often ask what projects have been funded. Is my topic fundable? Okay, that's why we can learn from successfully funded proposals. How many successfully funded proposals are here? Well, without any search keyword, here it shows 2 followed by 6 digits, 2.3 million of funded projects, which we call award. These are awards, grants made from major funding agencies. They actually publish their funding records in the past 2 decades. So this is useful when you are looking for ideas, when you are looking for trends, even when you are looking for collaborators. For example, you can search keyword big data. If you just heard about a grant program from National Science Foundation, it's about big data. You don't know if your idea about, say, STEM education data, is that fundable? You can search by this keyword, big data. I can put it into a phrase, so it's more precise match. I can search. I can see many awards in the big data program or mentioning big data. So this allows me to, we'll click on each one to see, oh, this one was funded in 2015, a few years ago. And then it's from this university, Penn State University. I can read its abstract to see what are the ideas here that were funded. I can see that this is about education, learning big data. Okay, so probably your idea about STEM education is fundable as well. Yeah, we'll come back here to see how this award tab can help you in finding a lot of useful strategic information. But let's move on. Sponsor. You might be wondering how GrantForward is different from Grants.gov. You have been going to Grants.gov because you want to know about federal grants. How is GrantForward different? Well, because GrantForward draw data, draw funding opportunities on behalf of you from many sponsors or sources of money or grant makers, funding agencies. There are altogether 20,000 of them. And this number is always increasing because we keep receiving feedback from our expert users in grant offices for useful funding sources we should incorporate. You can see the diversity by different sponsor type. Federal, this is what grants.gov cover. It has 1,500 out of the 20,000. Okay, so about a little bit less than 5% in terms of number of sponsors. You can look at, for example, big sources such as NIH, indeed humongous National Institute of Health, more than 2,000 grants. Okay, you can see its organization, its sub-sponsors. For example, National Institute of Health, 600 plus, almost larger than National Science Foundation. Yeah, so this is the federal segment. State, you might not be aware that your local government also make a lot of funding. Let me remove these keywords. Okay, there are about the same number, 1,500 of funding sources from the state government level. Let me search. For example, I am in Illinois. We are speaking from Illinois. Let me search Illinois. I get 26. Okay, the state Department of Human Services, 300 plus grants. Okay, Department of Public Health, 3 grants. Some offices, some departments currently are in their quiet period. You know, they are in the gap period. They don't have grant now, but they may have grant in the future. That's why you want to be aware of them so you can find grants, monitor their grants. Okay, foundation, there are many private organizations that also make funding available for research, for education. So let me remove these keywords. There are more than 10,000 sponsors. They are from private organizations. So these are often not well known. Okay, you may know a few such as Russell Sage. Okay, Russell Sage Foundation here. Okay, or Mellon Foundation or others. You can look them up. Or Gates Foundation. It's all here. So that's why we should expand beyond the government agencies. Corporate companies, academic, these are from other universities, international. GrantForward focus on funding that US institution like yours that can apply, but it doesn't mean that the sources are limited to US alone. That's why you have an international tab here. Let me find one source that everyone knows about because of the past pandemic. Okay, WHO, World Health Organization, 11 grants. Okay, the usefulness of sponsor is so that you will know about the sources of money. You can monitor the possible sources because many funding sources, they are interested specifically in your kind of research. For example, if you do something related to cancer, cancer prevention, cancer study, you can search with keyword cancer. Okay, you will see 172, even though you have dedicated your entire career in cancer, such a specialized area, you may not know all of them. Okay, you may know American Association for Cancer Research, indeed 27 grants, but you may not know about American Institute for Cancer Research, 2 grants. Okay, so you can set up your search and monitor your new grant from all these relevant sponsors whose every single grant might be relevant to you. Yeah, so this is about sponsor. Researcher. We are all researchers here. You are all researchers. That's why you attend this webinar to see how GrantForward can help move your next research project forward. But surprisingly, GrantForward is also a database of researchers. That's what this tab means. GrantForward is a database of researchers because researchers take time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to create their profile so that they can receive grant recommendation that are tailored to their research interest. This takes you about 5 minutes of time that you tell GrantForward about your research interest in terms of uploading your publications. I will show you in our first use case about receiving recommendation. Here, the main part of your profile is the many keywords that describe your research interest, such as data science, such as active surveillance, social network, answering question. These are keywords in 23 describing this researcher who is a computer science faculty member. A few years ago, say 10 years ago, he was working on something similar, such as user profiling, location data. It's all about data, but different because people's research interest slowly evolve. These keywords, as part of your profile, describe your research. They are not entered by PI, by researchers. No, the PI may not even remember all these keywords, but he or she would definitely recognize each and every one, because these are the keywords that really keep him busy in the day and awake at night. Okay, so these keywords are automatically identified from his many publications. Okay, he has 200 plus publication. Nobody want to enter the 200 or even 30, 50 publications one by one by hand. No, GrantForward try to make it easy by just asking you where GrantForward can find your list of publications or scholarly work. In this case, this PI specify a publication web page, which happen to be a Google Scholar page, has a list of publications. Many of you have Google Scholar, but this is not the only sources. You can use basically any website, including your own website. We'll come back here to look at more of different kind of profiles. But here, by creating your profile, not only you will be receiving grant recommendation, but in addition, your colleagues within your institution, okay, your colleagues outside of your institution can find you and collaborate with you, okay? Depending on your profile setting, people within the same institution can see each other's profile, or people outside of yours can also view your profile. That's why GrantForward is also a database of researcher. I want to come to the first, well, almost the first tab here, pre-solicitation. What does this mean? So our funding sources like to talk. They talk to the community. They make a lot of announcements, not only in the formal call for proposal. They do have regular communication announcement, and often before a solicitation is finalized. Okay, that's why this is commonly called the pre-solicitation. However, such a communication, okay, such as a dear colleague letter, okay, such as some request for information, okay, all these can come before, during, okay, or after a grant funding call. It may be about asking your input. It may be about announcing an upcoming grant. It may be about some Q&A. Okay, so here, an important kind of communication is notice of intent. They tell you they have an intent to publish some funding program, a funding program for early stage investigator. If you are starting your research career, you want to know about this announcement, which tells you that a funding program for you is coming up very soon. The funding source, the funding agency, in this case, NIH, they are still finalizing it. However, they understand it takes time to create a good proposal, so they want you to know about it earlier, so you can stay ahead of the game by checking out the announcement in pre-solicitation, including notice of intent and other communication. Finally, I want to show you the first tab. The first tab, okay, the first part shows you the communication coming from your grant office, your grant administrators, your sponsor program office, or your VP research office may use GrantForward to communicate with you about funding information. They may share a list of grants with you. Okay, for example, if they think you will be interested in cross-cutting grants, which is the example here, this account has been shared with a list of cross-cutting, currently consisting of 2 grants on this list. So whenever the grant administrator make any change to this list by adding a new grant, you will receive a notification. You will see the new result here. They may also share a search template. They know you want to learn about, say, mentoring grant. They will share a search with all the keywords, with filters that will find such a grant. So they may also publish a newsletter. It will all be shown here. The middle section is important as well. it gives you an idea about the current status of the database at a high level. It shows you the new sponsors, such as this Xerox Limited, an international funding source, added a day ago. This one of Jan, okay, 2 days ago. University of Hawaii, 2 days ago. So yeah, so new funding sources are constantly added because of feedback from our expert users in various grant offices, in various institutions, or from the discovery of our algorithm going out, looking at the internet, find the new funding sources automatically. That's why we can deliver to you a database collecting sponsors that you may care about, allowing you to perform a search at one place to find the grants that look promising. And therefore, this part shows you the new funding opportunities that have been added. Okay, once a sponsor is added to our database, we keep monitoring their announcement, their website to see new funding opportunities. The first one here, this from Xerox Beautiful Business Fund. This was added 2 hours ago. This one, second one from National Institute of Health, added 2 hours ago, about the time when we were about to start this webinar. Okay, so that's why you want to set up your search and set up to receive notification, because new grants are always being added. Today, you may not find many good matches. Next week, there could be a lot more. And this last here, this column here shows you the distribution of grants. So you see how you might be able to diversify your grant funding search. The federal part, about less than 30%. Foundation, about 1/3. And together with state, international, and others, this is the whole big picture. So the point of using a grant database is so that you will pay attention to all possible sources, not just the federal part. Okay, so that's my quick overview of GrantForward for its different capabilities and how different parts might be relevant, from grants, sponsors, awards, researchers, to presentation. All these probably are relevant at some point in your pre-award pursuit. However, today we will focus specific on funding opportunities, the resource, the grant that can help us to sponsor our research. I will show you first about receiving recommendation. Let me start by showing you what recommendation mean here. So I have an example. Not this one. I'm coming to my inbox here to show some example. Let's look at this one. And let me enlarge it. So this is an example recommendation. It comes from GrantForward. Okay, not your grant office. Okay, this may look like a newsletter that summarize, digest a list of grants coming from your grant office or coming from sponsors to advertise their grants. However, it's different in 2 ways. Number one, it's addressed specifically to you. It bears your name. Therefore, it's individualized. Okay, so it's tailored to your research. Secondly, in the list of grant here, you see there are, in addition to the description of each grant, many words, many keywords are highlighted. These are the keywords that describe the researcher, the PI, which means you here, research interest. And it also explains to the PI why each grant, each funding opportunity is considered relevant. The keyword here, such as network, data science, computational science, software design, answer question, social science. So you can imagine this is a PI in like a data-related computer science technology. That's indeed. Okay, so by highlighting these keywords, you learn about why each grant is relevant. So even when you are not actively looking for funding, you are busy in your daily routine of teaching and research, you probably want to keep your awareness to know about what topics around your research areas are fundable, are being sought after. That's why monthly we send out about 80 to 100,000 such emails as a recommendation. Yeah, and it's pretty popular and pretty powerful in keeping faculties of grant awareness, without having to spend your time of doing grant search. So how is this possible? This is possible because of profile. You probably have profile already created. We also provide a service which many institutions have taken advantage of to create a profile for all faculty members automatically. So earlier we looked at one profile example. Here, a faculty in data science, in computer science, he used Google Scholar as his source. Okay, so there are many other ways. Let me show some examples so we get an idea of how this can be done and how we can modify it to enhance the recommendation. This is another faculty member in something about primary care. Okay, which is clear from his keyword like a digital health, community engagement, Black population, national center, advanced health equity, yeah. So he used a CV. So you probably have a CV and only slightly outdated, but it contains a lot of useful information, such as your list of scholarly work, which GrantForward can use to populate, to understand your research interest. This is another example. Let me look at this one. Okay. This researcher also uses CV. Let me see. This is a researcher also in health. MicroRNA looks like it's about immune system vaccine. Okay, so she simply copy paste something that looked like a publication, this publication, and paste into GrantForward. Yeah, so these are all various ways. Let me show you another pretty special example that I'm aware of to show you that what kind of page. Let's see, I think it's from Cornell University, this example. So this is a researcher in nutritional sciences, which is clear from all these many keywords. I think the only thing I know is cholesterol, okay, here. So something about diet. And she used publication pages. And it's a publication page from PubMed. She simply shot a search by her name to find her list of publications and copy paste this URL into GrantForward. Yeah. So you can basically use any page, and GrantForward can also automate. We can create this profile for you if your administration office asks us to, allow us to. Yeah, but you want to learn how you can modify it. And that's why I'm going to show you here to tailor your recommendation. So I'm showing you the process of editing profile, but it's about the same entirely, the same as the creating from scratch process. 3 steps. The first step is your basic info, name and the department. The second step is most important. Here, you want to tell GrantForward where you can read about your scholarly work or publications. As we have seen example, you can copy paste text like this, a list of publications, such as you come here, you copy paste this. This is good enough. You can paste into GrantForward. You can also upload a CV, a PDF file. Then GrantForward will parse out your scholarly work from your list of the items on your CV. The most popular way probably is to use a website, okay, a publication web page. So it can be a Google Scholar page. We saw example earlier. It can be a PubMed page. It can be bPress, ORCID, or better yet, it can simply be your personal website or your institution faculty listing directory page. So essentially, this means any page, as long as there is a list of scholarly work of yours, then GrantForward can draw that data, the information to understand your interest. If you use publication website, you can also tell GrantForward to keep up to date by revisiting your website monthly or every 3 months, so that when you have new scholarly work, because your interest, your activities will evolve, GrantForward will learn about that in a timely manner. So your research, your recommendation will be updated. After you upload your publications, GrantForward will identify your research interests in these many keywords. If you are not doing data analysis anymore, if you are not doing active learning anymore, you can simply uncheck them. Or if you decide you want to do domain adaptation again, you want to do web search again, you can recheck them. So GrantForward keep track of your keywords, so you can check, uncheck, making your recommendation pretty easy, transparent to control what kind of topic you want to be recommended. In addition, you might have new interest. For example, now there are quite a few grants that mention ChatGPT. Well, you have not done anything about ChatGPT. You just learned about it, a few months ago. But there are some grants now about AI, generative AI, and fairness with education and so on. You are interested in learning about that, even though you have not done work about ChatGPT before. You can add the new keyword, the new interest, and GrantForward will include that in the recommendation. Finally, the third step is because your institution might systematically create a profile for every member to connect them, or because you may want to make your profile public so that the people can look for you as collaborator. You may want to add more information to make your profile more informative. You can copy paste your biography. You can upload a nice picture. Well, it doesn't have to be yours. Okay, and you can set the profile privacy level. The default is you will be visible within your institution. Okay, so that your peers, often within a typical institution of a few hundred, even 1,000 faculty members, people who can collaborate may not really know each other. That's why you want to allow your faculty peers to find you, to connect with you. You can also make your profile public. About 10%, 15% of the profiles are set to be public. They will be visible to any user on GrantForward. If you choose to, you can also make your profile entirely private. It's for your eyes only. Only you will be able to see your profile, and the only purpose is to use it to generate grant recommendation. Okay, so next, you can set the recommendation frequency. Most popular is monthly. Every first day of a month, you will receive such a email with keyword highlighted, informing you about topics that you work on that have been possible to get funding. Okay, you may also set it as weekly or every day. Yeah, these are all possible choices. Monthly, we send out about 100,000 such emails, and it's pretty useful in keeping your grant awareness. So you do want to set this up. A little known secret is you can further tailor your recommendation. Okay, let me come to the grants tab. You visit the recommendation tab here. I want to show you how you can further enhance the recommendation beyond the topical relevance. This is the page, the website version of the grants that were delivered to your inbox. Here you can see all the recommendations, and again with keyword highlighted. And you will understand here that all these recommendations are generated by all the keywords, either from your publication or from your new interest that you have added. Okay. However, keywords only control so much. It's only about topical relevance. Maybe you have your special preference. For example, you are only looking for research project, not any kind of other grants, not for summer salary, not for other fellowship. You want to set the grant type. There are filters, and we'll see again the same set of filter later when we do grant searching. But here, it's equally useful. I can say I'm only going to receive research project, not training course, not internship, not a fellowship. I can check and uncheck this, or I want to include fellowship, or I want to exclude it. Okay, probably you want to be informed because you want to be ambitious. You only want to be recommended if your grant is big enough, more than 1 followed by 60. That means 1 million. Okay, so not every grant matching your purpose matching your topic preference will be recommended unless they have sufficient amount. If you are a deadline-driven person, you don't want to see recommendation of grants that is due only in a year time frame. You want to see grants that will be due in the next couple of months. You can use this deadline filter. Okay, you can specify a specific time range. You can also use relative filter to say, I want to see grants that will be due within the next maybe 4 months. So grants that will be come to me will be all timely, okay, will be due soon so that I am motivated because I'm deadline driven. Yeah, so these are how you can add additional filters on various aspects beyond the topical keywords so that the type of grants that come to your inbox will be further tailored. Good. So I have shown you how you can receive recommendation by creating or modifying your researcher profile. And then you can also check uncheck keywords. You can add additional filters to tailor the recommendation that you will receive monthly or weekly. This is useful when you are concentrating on your responsibility as a teacher, as a researcher. You are busy. However, once in a while, a few times in a year, such as now, the beginning of the school year, you might be thinking about what my next project will be. You have a specific idea, and Professor Smith come to talk to you. You want to do something about, say, healthcare workforce. For this specific idea, you want to find grants. Well, that's why you want to come to GrantForward and use its search interface. Use a keyword to find a short list of grants, maybe 10 funding opportunities that will be due in the next 3 months. So we can write a proposal with Professor Smith together. Let's use this case. Let's now come to the search part. Okay, I want to look for audience participation. I want to look for if you have any keyword, any topic you want to do search. So I can use your example. Topic is what we think of first for our next project. Do you have any keyword you want to start search with? I'm watching the text chat. You can edge computing, cybersecurity. Okay, any other suggestion? If not, we will use this. If no objection, okay, edge computing, cybersecurity. Okay. So this is the first topic that came to your mind. Okay, so you will just put it, I copy paste from the text chat, edge computing, cybersecurity. You do a search, you get 26. I think for a very specialized topic like edge computing and the cybersecurity, this is a decent number of matching. And you may think 26 is a big number already. We cannot possibly apply to every of the 26. However, this is not sufficient. We are only doing keyword search now. We haven't applied any filter. We will hope to get much more, maybe 100, maybe 200. How do we do that? So we want to know that what sponsors may tell us in their grant announcement for something I can study about cybersecurity, about edge computing. So you want to click on this advanced keyword search. You may want to understand that the way you describe your activity might only be a way of talking about it. Okay, so I can add some phrase. I say edge computing, I say cybersecurity. I assume this is what you meant. Okay, and then I can add a lot more ways of saying it. Okay, so let's see what do you want to say about other things. So here, do we have other alternative keyword we want to say for edge computing and the cybersecurity? And I'm Googling, try to find more keywords I can use here. Okay, So I may say edge network. Let me see if I have other keyword suggestion. I don't think these are relevant. Okay, let's see. I may add cloud computing. I'm pretending I know the topic, but I don't. But you know you get the idea here. You want to think about more keyword might be mentioned in the relevant grant. Okay. And then you can add something in the first box about that something that must be mentioned. So here, for example, I want you to definitely mention security. Okay, and I can add keyword that I definitely want to exclude. Okay, for example, I want to exclude something about chemistry. If you know me, you know that because of my high school experience, I refuse to do anything about chemistry. So here, all of the keyword security, any of the edge computing, cybersecurity, edge network, cloud computing, okay, maybe even add the, let's see, data center. This I'm pretending I know it, I don't know, okay? Yeah, so maybe computing infrastructure. These are all possible ways that a grant with its relatively broad scope might be relevant, might allow me to do the things I want to do, which is edge computing, cybersecurity here. So you get about 100, maybe more. This is the right number. Why? Because looking at this, okay, this might be about, let's see, this is a development project, okay. This is maybe a scholarship, okay, maybe a research project, maybe a community outreach or what. They may not be all relevant for your specific purpose. That's why keywords only control so much about the topical relevance. We want to learn to use filters. So I come to the left side. Okay, I can open each filter, each criterion, okay, one by one, say grant type. I am not looking for fellowship. Suppose I'm looking for research project only. But in contrast, if your students are looking for grants, probably they will take on fellowship or internship. You take on research project. Training course might be relevant if you do education project. Travel, no. Workshop, no. Postdoc, no. Collaboration grant, these are company grants. Equipment, these are capital grants. Artistic, no, I'm not artistic. So no, this publishing, I'm not writing a book. No others. Okay, this is now reducing to about a half. That's why we want to start with a big number by using alternative different terms. Okay, you may want to look at the funding from different segments, say from federal, okay, or from private foundations. There is no from foundation here or other segments. Now I can also use amount. Okay, so I want to look at grants. They are more than 500,000. Okay, I can update my search. Status here, it shows you grants that are open, which means having a specific deadline in the future, such as October 23. Continuous means on a rolling basis. Or closed, a grant expert, they look at grant frequently enough. They often know that grants run in cycles. A grant that expired in June this year may come up again June next year. So that's why they can also choose to look at closed grants. But by default, we only show you active grants. Deadline, okay, you can set a specific deadline range. You say the next 3 months from beginning of October to the end of December. Okay, so now these are grants that can keep you busy now because they are due in the next 3 months. If you want to be constantly informed about relevant grants, you may want to consider using relative deadline so you can save this search and this window will be moving forward as time goes by. So I'm going to look for grants that will be due within the next, let's say, 6 months. Okay. So now grants that are too far away will not be shown to me. That's why it only has like at this point the result here are 39. Okay, you can search by subject category. You can also search by sponsor. For example, how many of these are from National Science Foundation? I can add NSF. Okay. You can keep adding, say, Gates Foundation, other relevant sources. They may or may not have grants at this point, but they will have new grants. So we have seen our user who add as many as 20, 30 funding sources and then set up a safe search and to be informed about upcoming grants from these sponsors. Okay, let me remove this. There are other useful filter, applicant location. Some grants are restricted. You can only apply from, say, California. So the default here is you can apply from somewhere in US. So here, you can set your location specifically. You can click on the map bubble here. It will allow you to select the list of locations that are relevant to your institution. I'm in Central Illinois. This is my place. Okay. You can also specifically add the place, such as you are in Illinois. You can also apply from Indiana and Iowa. You can add all these places. Now, grants that are restricted to California, which means you cannot apply from any of these places, will not be shown to you. So this is about applicant location. Okay, there are other things such as applicant type is also useful. Okay, if you are early career investigator, or if you are other special type, they are often preferred in some kinds of grant. You can specify your user type so that grants that prefer your status will be ranked higher. Okay, good. So now we can look at our list of grants. I can add them to my short list. I can add it to the list I created with Professor Smith, if it's relevant. I can create a new list. Let's say this new list called the Edge Computing Grants. I give it a color, bluish color. Okay, I want to sort by deadline. Okay, expire check. This means that if a grant become expired in the future, they will be automatically removed. Okay, so now we create this new list. We have added this new grant. Okay, let me add another one here. So I have put 2 grants into my short list. I can also save my search because I want to run this search again, or I want to receive notification. I say, this is my Edge Computing grant search. Okay, alert frequency. How often do you want to receive an alert? You can say every Monday or every first day of the month. It tells you the next time is October 01. So you will now receive new result. Okay, let's see. Let me show you example. Okay, so this is an example. This PI set a safe search from his favorite sponsors. He lists a list of funding sources, okay, probably without any keywords. He wants to be notified if there are any new grants coming from these sponsors. So he has this safe search. He may also set up a multiple safe search, one about edge computing, another about smart manufacturing. Then you will be notified at the frequency of your specification for new grants without you having to visit GrantForward. Okay, but if you want to do that to update your grant list, you may come back to GrantForward. Okay, you come back to GrantForward the next week. You can load your search. You say, I have saved my Edge Computing grant search. Okay, so the keywords that we took effort to specify are all reloaded. The filters, including the deadline, the amount, the grant type, are all loaded. So I can examine the new result. Okay, there will be new grants. I can save them to my grant list. So as a result of my searching grant, I created my multiple grant list. Let me come back to grant list here. So I have a grant list I just updated with Professor Smith. I have one new list called the Edge Computing, which has 3 grants here. I want to share with my collaborators. I can simply do exporting. Okay, so everywhere at the GrantForward, you see this button export. It simply means that you can output, generate a report of the information you are browsing on the website. So here is a list of grants. I can say I want to explore PDF. I can check and check the information I want to include. Now it will take some time to generate, okay, and it's here. So this is the PDF that is generated, that list, the grants you have bookmarked on your list with information, with link going back to GrantForward and the original website. You can now use this as an email attachment, share with your collaborator or your student. Okay, good. So now we have learned about receiving recommendation when you are busy or performing grant search when you are motivated. Finally, how do you use GrantForward to learn about strategic information? We have learned about I can find the sponsors. Okay, I come here. I come to the sponsor tab here. I search, for example, sponsor related to cancer. I learn a lot about cancer-related sources. I can come to GrantForward, grant search. I can remove all keywords. I can find the grant specifically for a sponsor, okay, such as Gates Foundation, okay, or Russell Sage Foundation, or National Science Foundation. Yeah, you can add as many of the relevant sponsors, and then you set up Safe Search. You will receive alert, just like how we have demonstrated. How about you want to find the fundable topic? Okay, you can come to award. To see if anyone has proposed something about edge computing. I can search this keyword. There are more than 400 that are about edge computing. What did they propose about edge computing? Does anyone propose edge computing together with the security issues? Let me search edge computing and the security. Indeed, people talk about edge computing and pervasive in security. Okay, you can sort them by relevance. You can sort them by date. Okay, the newest one February or one next year. Okay, you can see what's the newest idea. You want to find the collaborators. Suppose you are in New York. You want to find the collaborator around your area. You can search in New York. You can see grants maybe for New York University or New York University or other universities in New York. You can find the PI. Okay, you can find the PI with maybe a certain area of interest, such as, again, about security. Okay, so now we can peruse the list to find out the PI who might be near you in the same state in certain with certain expertise area because they were funded under that subject. You can also use this to find your peer researchers or peer institution. For example, if you work in high performance computing, you may know a professor, a faculty called Mark Sneer. Okay, what you are wondering, what did he get the funding from? Because all these would be applicable to you. You are in the same area. You can search by his name. You will see a few grants that he has been funded. Okay, and therefore you will take note. You will take notice that these are promising funding programs for my area of research. Okay, good. Yeah, so these are the third use case about how you can use other part of GrantForward to possibly find the collaborator, find the upcoming grants, find the relevant sponsors who want to sponsor you, and find your peer researchers. Good. So we have a few minutes because the bakery has not been delivered yet. I think we can continue to see if you have any question. We have a few minutes. You can put your question in the text chat, or you can just unmute and speak up. You can unmute because I don't know how to put everyone to mute position as clear earlier. Okay, question? Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, everyone. If you don't have more questions, which means we have answered all the questions. So thank you for your time for attending this webinar. I hope you find it informative. We will post the webinar recording to everyone who have signed up, so that if your colleagues have not been able to attend this, they will receive a recording as well. And other than that, thanks for attending. And if you have any question, you can write email to support@grantforward.com. Let me put this in the chat. And a little known secret is that we do one-on-one support session. So if you have any difficult search scenario that we would love to hear about that, you can ask for a one-on-one support session. We will work with you in 30 minutes, in 1 hour. And hopefully in the end of the 1 hour, we will have your short list of grants built. Okay, thank you very much. I think we are ready for the weekend. Thank you and bye-bye.